I just said I don't like women with my complexion. I like light-skinned women. I want you to be lighter than me. I love African-American women, but I just don't like my skin complexion.
Okay. Well, I like your skin complexion.
We too gutter. Black people, my complexion, we too gutter. Light-skinned women, they more sensitive, you know?
There's some dark-skinned women out here sensitive.
No, they too tough. Light-skinned women, we could break them down more easy, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Be shout out to Cheney TV, already no floor.
Good question. I was hoping someone would ask this. I just didn't have time to talk about it in the video. Black men don't always date outside of their race on purpose. I mean, especially if Black families are in predominantly white areas, their children might just tend to date white people just because that's what's around. However, some have internalized hatred for Blackness, so they want their children to come out with like softer or lighter features, so they'll date people outside of their race or their kids will look a certain way, which is really gross. Also, because whiteness and Eurocentric features are seen as favorable in society, that tends to be portrayed in the media more, and Black men tend to see this as more attractive. Again, not their fault, it's just how society is. Also in society, Blackness is seen as more masculine, and whiteness or lighter skinned people are seen as more feminine. So by default, dark-skinned Black women are masculinized, even though dark skin is not inherently masculine.
If your type, and I'll say this, if your type is not what your mother looks like, you need to go to therapy. I'm sorry. I'm really strongly apologize to you. If your type does not look like your mother and your father in any way, racially, features, color, culture, get help.
Every time I see a UK footballer, they're with a white woman. I don't get it. Like, there's so many beautiful Black women in the UK. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, why don't y'all like... Y'all don't like y'all kind?
Sometimes
it's not about that. It's not about that.
Sometimes it's just like they've had a feeling for somebody.
And it just happens to be a Becky? For some reason...
I'm just saying, the reason why a lot of us tend to go for these lighter-skinned women is because the world has said lighter is better. And we've all kind of grown up watching and seeing that, and it's internalized in our brain.
What is it about the Black man that has him so addicted to any other woman except his own? And it is the psychology of self-hatred. Mind you, up until 1967, when the Supreme Court struck down in Loving versus Virginia, the final laws in the country against miscegenation, you hardly find a Black man married to a white woman. You wasn't allowed. You end up strange fruit hanging from the tree. Jim Crow did not tolerate it. So soon when the Supreme Court overturns Loving, and the movie is coming out, I just saw it. There's a movie on the Loving Supreme Court case. The case that ultimately destroyed miscegenation laws is coming out soon. And I don't think that's a coincidence, by the way. But nonetheless, as soon as they struck that law down, Black men went crazy. They went to find anything they could find that was not Black because of the self-hate. If I look in the mirror and I don't like the way Umar Johnson looks, I definitely don't want my son or daughter resembling me. So what I'm going to do is conduct my own eugenics experiment. And I'm going to find a woman who has nothing in common with the women of my race. So when I look at my children, I don't have to see my ugly Black face.
So this is going to be part one of my story of how I overcame self-hatred. If you want to see the whole video, it's going to be pinned on my profile. But in this series, there's going to be a lot more details and stories included into this. But anyways, let's get started because I am very excited. When I was on my journey to overcome self-hatred, I realized that when you are not pretending to be someone that you're not, when you're focused on loving yourself, people tend to stay away from you. Believe it or not, but people tend to spend less time around you or become less involved with you. When a person is self-hating, they will do anything to be accepted by everybody. As the old saying goes, each person that is liked by everybody is actually pretending to be someone they're not. This doesn't always mean self-hating, but it is a side effect. When you are self-hating, you want the acceptance and the approval from the type of people that you want the acceptance from. Surprisingly, it works works really well because you know all the tips, tricks, and loopholes in order to get that person's acceptance and approval. This type of skill and ability can be very dangerous. I promise you, when you're on your journey into overcoming self-hatred, you will lose 99% of your friends, if not all of them, because you are not sucking up, obeying, and you're changing your perspective of how you see things. But most importantly, you are changing yourself, and everybody who used to be around you hates that. They do not like it when you are trying to change, when you are trying to evolve yourself. So therefore, they will either do one or two things. One, they'll try to gaslight you, so you will stop on this progress. Or two, they will try to distance themselves. Now, there are other ways they can attempt to do this. However, the main goal is to stop their self-hating friend from being self-hating. Because if they no longer can control you, they will do everything they can to keep you that way. Nothing is more dangerous than wielding a self-hating person as a tool or a weapon. Like a blade when it's struck, the only thing that is taking damage is you. Because you are changing yourself, a lot of people will not like you. You will have very few friends, if not none at all. This is the sacrifice when you are trying to overcome self-hatred. If you are a self-hating person or someone who is trying to overcome self-hatred, I want to let you know that this is going to happen regardless. This is what happens when you build an embodiment full of lies, because nothing around you is true. So therefore, if nothing around you is served with purpose, don't be surprised when it comes crumbling down.
Black men date out their race more than all other men put together. You know why? Racial inferiority. We don't think we're as good as the white man, so we need the white woman in order for us to feel an artificial sense of equality. It is self-hatred to the 20th power. I'm not against white women.